I've already told some people off the air. If it turns out to be that there was some real D-bag stuff in there, I'm just saying that you may never get a chance to see number 2 actually start or be a part of this team going forward, because they do seem to have a thing for looking for the character issues and all of that stuff, and that would be an easy justification to go, you know what? Let Jerry Jones handle this issue. We'll just draft somebody else and we'll try it again. Mariota, what are you doing? We got a couple of first-round picks. LG, my man, I love it.
Well, let me just touch on one other thing.
Wrap it up.
You're probably overstepping right now, J-Rock Daddy. It may not even be up to the Browns. I mean, the NFL is trying to change their face, and when players get in the I mean, this could be another incident of a Ray Rice thing where he punches his wife and then denies what happened.
Back that down a little bit. Let's not use that. Let's back that down just a little bit. What you just said.
Well, I'm just saying. If there is a videotape, which we're pretty much sure there is,
right. If there's a video of him doing some stuff.
The only analogy that I compared it to Rice was they're too stupid to realize that everything today is on videotape. Now, whether 9 over there at the 9 at the motel or at the apartment complex, don't forget who's paying the rent there and everything else. But if the police want this tape, or if TMZ presents who's going to present the most money, Johnny Manziel, the Cleveland Browns, I don't know. But what I can tell you is, people got to realize everywhere you go today is on videotape, man. And that's all I want to. I'm going to be interested to see what happens. It's interesting to see the pictures that came out with this guy, and just because this guy has a criminal charge in his past doesn't mean he's making up a whole story, because the charges he faced before wasn't anything to do with something like this, J-Rat Daddy. It was all about trying to bring in money and securities into the country. I mean, you could go on a trip if you don't claim your $10,000 or whatever when you come back. You will be faced with criminal penalties.
LG's like, I just left the country. I know how this works. I'm with it, man.
Well, I saw the sign, J-Rock. It's hanging right up in the Costa Rican airport.
You have to declare. You're absolutely right. But
right.
Hey, he doesn't. You know what though? All he has to do. But all he has to do is say, "I'm just bringing my phone," and then he pulls out the money phone. See, the money phone. I'm just kidding.
Well, let's go back on one other thing.
No. Hey, LG, let's hang on
with this
real
LeBron.
Quick. Yeah, we're done with that guy, right? We don't need to worry about it. We'll see if anything comes out. Otherwise, let's just let that be for now. But go ahead. You wanted to talk about LeBron before we wrap it up.
Well, you know what? A lot of people realize what a great ball player he is, J-Rock Daddy. And a lot of people were concerned about some of the statements, including yourself, that LeBron made. Being a true leader and being in the leadership role that he's in now is something that is relatively new to LeBron James. Because let's face it, he wasn't the leader that he is now when he went to Miami 4 years ago. He was a younger LeBron James. He had Chris Bosh. He had Wade. Both those guys had a lot of ball and experience. Being a leader is not easy. You don't know sometimes what the right words are, or how to motivate people, or how to get things going the way you want them to go. And there's going to be mistakes made. I think we cut LeBron just a little bit slack this one time. I think things are going to turn around for him, and he's going to assume how to be a leader a little bit better in the future, man.
See, and that's it. And that's where, whether we're talking about LeBron, whether we're talking about Brian Hoyer, whether we're talking about Johnny Manziel, that's the one point that I always make to guys, that I think too many fans and too many media cut people out into a square, and they cannot move. There's no growth, there's no development, there's no evolution, and I just think that people don't exist in a vacuum like that. LeBron, his leadership, it needed to be changed the way he was doing it. And I said this at the beginning of the show, I like what I've seen in the last couple of days, and if that keeps up, that means that you realized that I needed to tweak what I was doing, and I did. And I will always respect anybody who grows, anybody who changes for the better, anybody who says, I found this, because you know how hard it is to find flaws in yourself, and I'm just being honest. If you were realistic, people don't do it. You don't. Well, hang on, LG. I'm just saying, if you're realistic, people don't find flaws in themselves that other people do. I'm not saying everybody thinks they're perfect, but you don't point out all the things about yourself that somebody else might, because you look at yourself from a little different view than maybe reality. That's natural different levels of ego. So the ones that can't take constructive criticism. When a guy hits me up and tells me, that wasn't your best show today, I go, man, I had the same feeling. I'm glad somebody else said that. At least I know I wasn't crazy. Whereas some people, first thing they do is they go, what do you mean it wasn't a good show? Well, it was a bad show. Are you trying to say it was terrible? And then they get all defensive about it. It's like, man, if I wanted somebody to tell me that every show that I did was great, then I'd ask somebody to do that, and I would have somebody blow smoke up my ass every day. So my point is that if he's going to grow and adapt and say, you know what, I do need to not say that in front of the media, and I do need to try this way, or maybe I need to try a different approach, I'm with that. And if you grow, and same thing with Brian Hoyer, people say, well, he's well, can he not get better? Is he not going to continue to improve? If he's not, then we'll have a different conversation, but I think he can. Same thing with Manziel. No matter what he is, he's 20 whatever years old. He's got a lot of room to grow. I don't know if he will, but he can. Same with Kyrie Irving. Same with any young athlete. Will they do it is a different question. So I will give LeBron credit, as I said at the beginning of the show, because I liked the way he admitted in the media yesterday that it starts with me and I need to set a better example. And then he went out there and he played a better game. He didn't score 1,000,000 points. He didn't try to be Michael Jordan. He tried to be LeBron James, and he passed the ball, and he directed the offense, and he stayed positive on the field or on the court. He didn't have the slumping shoulders. His face didn't get all frowny all the time. And when other guys see that, they get all frowny too. I'm with it, and I'm giving LeBron credit for that, man. If he continues to do that, this team will be just fine if they all continue to grow together.
Well, that's the thing too, J-Rock. I'll just put it into terms people can understand, because there's very few that get to be in the position that these guys are in. But raising kids, I mean, there's no book on the right way to raise kids. You know what I'm saying? You make mistakes along the way. We all do. Pardon me?
Oh, I said we all know that. I know that for sure.
And it's the same thing when you're in a leadership role like he's in right now. It's new to him, even though people think he's the greatest NBA player of all time. He still has a lot of growing and learning to do. As I said earlier, this is a new role for LeBron James. He'll grow into it. I think the Cavaliers are going to be fine. I think they're going to be a great basketball team. I think they have the nucleus and all the players with the supporting cast around LeBron James that can be competitive. And it's going to be interesting to see where they stand after 82 games, J-Rod.
Sure is, man. You had me all the way up until greatest player of all time. We can talk about today. I know. I'm joking. I always tell people, I go, now let's not go too far with this conversation, but I'm with you. And it's going to be, let's see what happens. You did what you had to do against Orlando. Let's see some difference and some growth here from, you just saw them against Washington. So it's kind of a good see the same team within a week of each other and see how they play. It would be fun to watch that tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it. LG, I'm up against the end of the show here. Thank you very much, my man. And I guess we established that the phone lines are working just fine.
Well, I can hear you and you can hear me, so that's all you can do. But just lay low on the next Swisher talk a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, you're right. You found it. My bad, Juju.
I'll talk to you later, J-Rock Daddy. Have a good one.
All right, man. As we speak, I'm taking the pins out of the voodoo doll and everything, man. Like, I'm sorry, Nick Swisher. Bro, happy birthday, man. Happy freaking birthday, bro. Just don't do that to me again, man. He's kind of freaky with the coincidence, because we went to the break and we were laying it on Nick Swisher, and then we come back and all hell breaks loose on the phone lines. And then Larry calls in, everything's working just fine. Now, obviously, Dr. Football hit us up during the break. He's having some problems with Sprint on his end, and that's what it was. And I really knew that it had to be, because we were just fine. But whatever, and that's fine, and we'll catch back up with Dr. Football either later on in the week, or we'll catch back up with him next week. Thanks to LG for the phone call there, too. And speaking of football, as we get ready to wind things down here, I am calling winding it down, my final game of the season, high school football coming up this Friday. it'll be my last chance to go out there, and I get to redeem myself from last week. I'm telling you, it'll be fun, as this is my final chance to do some football this season. Mayfield and Nordonia coming from Solon, a semifinal matchup there, and the winner will go on to the championships, which of course are called by the Ohio State Athletic Commission. So last chance this Friday, 7:30 will be kickoff pregame at 7 o'clock, and it'll be live on 1330 AM, WINT, WINTradio.com, all of that stuff. I'll tell you more about it later on in the week, but enjoy some Black Friday football with it. Speaking of Black Friday, enjoy Black Friday here on the Sports Fix, and don't forget, I've got a copy of Glory Days in Tribe Town by Terry Pluto and Tom Hamilton. I'm going to give a copy of that away to you guys coming up Friday. Great book about the 94, 5, 6, 7-ish Indians. It's some good stuff there. So we're going to bring a copy to somebody. It can make a great stocking stuffer or Christmas present, or it could just be for you, Daddy. We're going to bring it to somebody this Friday, and some other stuff too as we do Black Friday Sports Fix. But that's Black Friday. That comes after Thanksgiving Thursday and after Hump Day Wednesday, which is tomorrow, and we've got a lot on tap. Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com will be here tomorrow. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan will be in the house. Mike's already working on some things. He wants to talk about the Indians, some scenarios with them. We will get you all set for Michigan, baby, as we do the preview of that school up north and the game. Ohio State and that school up north. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan will do it with us. BJ Riddell, since Thanksgiving Thursday, we're not live. BJ is going to be here tomorrow. Fantasy Football for Winners, getting you all set for not one, not two, but 3 Turkey Day football games and all the rest of the fantasy football action this week. Doug Plagans, voice of the Lake Erie Monsters. He was supposed to be with us today. He also, I said we were all sick. Doug Plagans hit me up this morning and goes, man, let's shoot for Wednesday because I'm sick, and it'll sound a whole lot better if we push it off one more day. So Doug also under the weather. What's up with all of us here? It was the Sports Fix curse today, but Doug Plagans will be here and get you ready for some holiday weekend Monsters action as well. Mike Brandenberry, Dan Wismar, BJ Riddell, Doug Plagans, me, and you, baby. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Hump Day edition of the Sports Fix. Thank you guys for being with us. The ones of you that stuck with us, thank you for sticking with us to the bitter end today. Apologies again for the bad connection with Dr. Football. Thanks to Jeff Gorman for joining us and you, and we'll see you tomorrow live. Same bat time, same bat channel, noon, right here on the Sports Fix and the Sports Fix Radio Network. We love you, Cleveland and beyond. We'll see you tomorrow, right here on The Fix.
We are not the empire, but this is where the kings play.
Cleveland, we rep our city. Blue lights separate the ground from the gritty. We're sick-fitted, hood class cover any city that we visit. Winnie up on Cleveland. Survivals are must on these streets. We hustle, don't sleep. Out here in Cleveland, Cleveland, Cleveland.
Okay, now here we go. Welcome to the Cleveland show, but this ain't no cartoon.